Hello everyone, and welcome back to Clover Garden. Today, we follow the quiet, careful journey of blood oranges, from grafted young trees to glowing crimson fruit. These trees thrive in sunny highland orchards, well-drained soil, steady watering, and patient hands that know every branch by name. In this video, we'll see planting, pruning, flowering, harvesting, and packing, until one perfect blood orange steals the golden hour spotlight.
As dawn breaks over Mexico's highlands, an aerial view reveals the vast blood orange orchard. A truck carrying grafted blood orange trees arrives at the nursery area for careful inspection. Miguel inspects the graft union on a grafted tree with expert care and attention. Carlos unloads the grafted trees from the truck, handling each one with steady hands. Maria checks the root ball thoroughly with her skilled hands, feeling for health and strength. Miguel removes the binding string around the root ball to free the young tree. Maria examines the healthy white roots around the edge of the root ball closely. Miguel lightly trims the circling roots with pruning shears to encourage strong growth. Carlos sorts the grafted trees carefully by size, preparing them for the field. Maria measures the height of the grafted trees with precise attention to detail. Miguel checks the healthy young leaves on each tree for vitality and promise. Together, the group positions the grafted trees in a lightly sunny area for acclimation. Carlos carefully transports the grafted trees with the cart to the planting field. Maria waters the trees lightly after inspection to keep their roots moist. Miguel performs the final check on the trees before moving them to the field. The cart carrying grafted trees leaves the nursery area, heading to the planting field. Miguel and Carlos work side by side, pushing the cart to the planting field. Maria arranges the grafted trees neatly in organized rows ready for planting. Miguel measures the planting spacing accurately with a string, ensuring even rows. Miguel checks the spacing and hole depth one last time with his measuring string. Miguel uses a hoe to till the entire planting area, preparing rich soil. Carlos picks up stones and weeds by hand, clearing space for the young trees. Maria rakes the soil into straight rows, creating an ideal bed for planting. Miguel digs planting holes with a shovel in the prepared soil with care. Carlos brings the grafted trees to each hole one by one with care. Maria places the grafted tree into the hole, keeping the graft union above ground. Miguel backfills the soil around the base and firms it gently by hand. Carlos carefully installs support stakes to give each young tree extra support. Maria waters the planted trees deeply, allowing the roots to settle firmly. Miguel builds a soil basin around each base for water retention, keeping mulch away from the trunk. The whole group plants the second row together with coordinated teamwork and skill. Maria applies the first layer of straw mulch carefully around the trees, keeping it away from the trunk. Carlos pulls water from the manual channel to nourish the freshly planted orchard. Miguel checks the spacing between the trees, ensuring room for healthy future growth. Maria adds more soil to loose root areas, securing each tree in place. Carlos and Diego bring additional grafted trees to keep the planting process flowing. Miguel observes the overall new planting area, appreciating the results of their labor. Time-lapse shows water gradually seeping into the soil around each tree base. The grafted trees stand firm after planting, ready for their journey in the orchard. Maria pulls weeds close to the base by hand, protecting the young roots with care. Carlos cleans the inter-row ditches with a hoe, keeping water flowing freely. Carlos checks soil firmness by pressing the ground, ensuring a solid foundation for growth. Miguel cuts off yellowed leaves with precise care to keep the trees healthy. Maria collects dry leaves and removes them from the path, maintaining a clean orchard. Time-lapse reveals morning dew glistening on young leaves as sunlight warms the rows. Carlos applies the second round of fertilizer, feeding the growing trees with dedication. Time-lapse shows young trees growing gradually over many weeks, their leaves turning lush green. Miguel flips the underside of leaves to look for pests, watching closely for threats. Miguel ties young branches outward, guiding their shades with patient, skilled hands. Carlos collects fallen leaves around the base, keeping them separate from the mulch layer. Maria checks small drainage ditches and opens paths with her hoe, preventing water pooling. Miguel checks deep soil moisture with his finger, assessing the tree's hidden needs. Time-lapse captures trees growing noticeably taller through seasons, their trunks hardening and canopies expanding. Maria applies additional mulch before the dry season, protecting roots while keeping it from the trunk. Carlos installs stronger stakes, supporting the maturing trees against wind and weight. Miguel observes tree development with quiet satisfaction, seeing their progress unfold. Extreme close-up reveals lush green young leaves after many seasons full of vibrant life. Maria creates a new soil basin for water retention, ensuring every drop reaches the roots. The whole group takes a short break under the tree shade, sharing a moment of rest. Transition shows the orchard maturing after seasons, with dense canopies filling the landscape. Carlos checks if the stake ties are not girdling the trunks, protecting bark from damage. Maria checks for suckers growing below the graft union and pinches them off gently. The orchard of mature trees stands ready, welcoming the coming flowering season. Miguel prunes branches with pruning shears, shaping the canopy with practiced precision. Carlos collects the pruned branches, clearing the ground for healthy airflow. Carlos tills the soil between rows, refreshing the earth beneath the mature trees. Maria applies organic fertilizer around the bases, supporting the tree's natural strength. Miguel ties branches outward, encouraging balanced growth with steady, careful hands. Miguel observes clusters of white buds starting to swell on the branch tips. Diego sets up small bamboo stakes next to leaning branches, preparing for wind protection. Extreme close-up captures blood orange buds still closed, only slightly opening in early morning light. Maria waters lightly around each base before flowering carefully, avoiding the tender bud clusters. Carlos removes any diseased leaves from the trees with attentive and precise care. Maria thins selected leaves, covering the bud clusters to open up the canopy for better light. Maria uses soft string to secure the leaning branch to the bamboo stake, protecting the buds. Carlos checks the stake ties thoroughly along the entire row of mature trees. Miguel collects the prune branches one last time, clearing the ground after shaping. The whole group cleans their pruning shears and tools thoroughly after a full day of work. Mature trees now stand covered with white buds, ready to enter the flowering season. Miguel performs the final check on all branch ties before flowering begins. Carlos prepares small baskets for the careful inspection of developing buds. Maria removes excess branches throughout the orchard to maintain proper tree balance. Miguel checks the bamboo stakes, ensuring they are sturdy and reliable. Time-lapse shows the buds swelling steadily larger under the early morning sun. The mature orchard completes its meticulous preparation for the flowering season. Extreme close-up reveals blood orange flowers opening in stunning full bloom. Bees move naturally from flower to flower, pollinating them with quiet efficiency. Small green young fruits begin to appear following successful pollination. Maria inspects the tender young fruits gently by hand, checking their development. Miguel waters evenly around the trees, providing consistent moisture for the growing fruits. Time-lapse shows the small fruits growing gradually larger week after week. The developing fruits slowly turn from green to a soft pale orange. Maria gently rotates each fruit by hand to carefully check the skin attachment. Miguel cuts open one nearly ripe fruit to examine its promising interior color. Extreme close-up reveals the pulp beginning to turn a rich, deep red with tinted juice. The whole group comes together to decide the ideal day for harvest.
Yes, Thursday looks good.
The peel develops a deep, vibrant orange with some fruits showing a light red blush. Maria carefully checks the ripeness of the fruits with experienced hands. Miguel stands quietly observing the beautiful orchard filled with ripe blood oranges. Extreme close-up showcases the glossy surface of a perfect ripe blood orange. The whole group prepares ladders and baskets, getting ready for harvest time. A before and after view reveals the same tree's journey from young sapling to fruit laden. Blood oranges hang ready and abundant, signaling harvest time has arrived. The team carries ladders, woven baskets, and cloth liners into the orchard together. Carlos climbs the low ladder, reaching for the fruits with steady, practiced hands. Miguel sets up a taller ladder with care and climbs it confidently to reach higher fruit. Carlos harvests ripe blood oranges at the lower levels using practiced, steady hands. Diego ties the basket handle securely to a rope and lowers it slowly from the tree. Rosa receives the basket below and gently transfers each fruit into the large cloth-lined crate. Extreme close-up shows pruning shears cutting the stem while one hand supports the fruit securely. The whole group moves together to the next row, continuing their steady, rhythmic harvest. Diego steadies the ladder firmly for Maria, keeping her safe during the climb. Extreme close-up captures the fruit placed softly onto the cloth liner, creating a muffled sound. The whole group works in harmonious rhythm under the warm afternoon light. Full baskets are continuously lowered by rope to the waiting team on the ground. Performs a final quality check on each fruit before placing it in the crate. Pushes the small cart loaded with crates steadily along the row. Quickly sorts out any defective fruit right on the spot. Carefully harvests the ripest remaining fruits in the final row of trees. Time-lapse shows baskets and crates gradually filling with blood oranges under the afternoon sun. The entire group moves together to the last section of the orchard. Maria ties the handle of the final basket and lowers it carefully to the ground. Full crates of harvested blood oranges are pushed out of the orchard. Maria carefully sorts good and imperfect fruit in the shaded packing area. Carlos gently wipes each blood orange with a soft cloth, cleaning them with care. Miguel packs each blood orange neatly into the crate layer by layer with precision. Maria sorts through fruits, selecting only those with minor scratches for special handling. Miguel ties rope securely around the filled crate and attaches an identifying paper tag. Crates filled with blood oranges glow beautifully under the late afternoon sunlight. The horse cart loaded with crates slowly leaves the orchard heading to market. An aerial pullback reveals the entire orchard bathed in golden hour dusk light.